now tuned in to United Football Media. Tell me about it. The number one wraparound show of the number one spring football media conglomerate, the United Football Media, covering the United Football League. We are here after an exciting and interesting week 6. I thought, we should open this thing up with one of the most shocking. I have never seen anything like what is happening in this Arlington Renegades season. Just how do they manage to do it every single week? I'm expecting when we tune into Hellraiser podcast on Friday, though, that dude, old Gabriel over there, he's going to be sitting there. See you at the crossroads. The Bone Thugs and Harmony is going to be playing in the background. He's just going to be staring off into space. How can this happen? Stop me if you've heard this before, but Arlington Renegades, more first downs, more plays, more total yards, only 1 minute behind in time of possession, ahead with 47 seconds left in the game. They're going to get their first win. Here we go. 65-yard kick return against the Michigan Panthers. So that means against who? The best kicker in football, Jake Bates. And then not only does that happen, miraculously, Jake Bates misses the field goal. And the Arlington Renegades have 12 players on the field. It gives him another chance. And Jake Bates puts him away. It's beyond belief at this point. I just don't know what to say for these guys. I don't know what to do. 28-27, Panthers get the win. Another interesting game out of Etling, 202 yards, 55 yards rushing on a day when the rest of the rushing game was kind of shut down. Very concerning. But your guy, Marcus Sims, making huge plays to pull this one out for the Panthers. 65-yard kick return at the end. Just incredible scenes up there in Detroit. God bless the Renegades, man. God bless. Tay, your thoughts. Tell me about it.
The Renegades gotta be the best worst team I've ever seen. Like they find a way to blow it every week. I don't understand. Like they played a good game, like they do every single week. And they just like you can't even really point to one person. Like they just lost. Like as a team, they lost. They almost lost. They almost lost the game previously because they had a fumble late in the fourth quarter. But then I guess it wasn't a fumble, but they almost lost the game that time. They got the field goal they wanted. And then they give the ball back to the Panthers, get a big return. And then, okay, all right, we can still get a stop, maybe block the field goal. They miss, and you have 12 people on the field. And everyone knows what happens after that. You just can't have that. That like you can't even. That's everyone's fault. Like there should be usually teams have someone out there counting how many people are on the field. Like, oh, we have 12, get off the field, something. I couldn't believe that. They really lost the game like that. It's like they just find a way to lose every week.
They're innovating new ways to lose every week.
Yeah,
they do it in a
wonder what's
different way.
Happen next week. I'm curious to see how they do it next week because that was a season right there. That's a must-win game. Now, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, they compete with everyone. They just can't get over the hump at the end of the game. Every week is something different, and I don't know. I didn't expect this from this team, but it's not looking good.
It's funny because I think a lot of people, even though they have no wins, would not have them at the bottom of the power rankings. I don't know
They
how
don't
wrong
seem
we
like the
were,
bottom.
really. I feel like a lot of people would have them ranked over the Roughnecks and the Showboats because they are in the lead of almost every major statistical category every week.
Yeah.
Other than stupid things to lose games. I have never seen, like I said, I checked the group. That did not just happen. I have never seen anything like this before in my life in football. Speaking of which, Jake Bates, man, 5 for 5, another 60-yarder. Is this the best kicker in football?
Yeah, it sure is. After week 2, I was sold. He had 260 yards in a row. He definitely is the best kicker in football. He will be on the NFL roster. In summertime. I'm almost 100% certain on that.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff out of the Arlington Renegades. Speaking of incredible stuff, we're going to move on to something a little more fun for you as your guy, Adrian Martinez. You might as well get the head on down to the hobby shop, to the trophy emporium, and start etching out his name on that MVP trophy, because holy crap, I'll say crap. There were people cursing all over the place on this media channel last week, and everybody thought it was going to be us that did it. So I can say crap. Holy crap. Adrian Martinez. Insane. Incredible numbers. He is shredding apart this league. Now it's not just with his legs. This time it was with his arm. 368 yards, 64% passing, 4 touchdowns. Added on another 25 yards on the ground as they shredded the Showboats. If True was here right now, he would probably be showing up in a little while. If he was here right now, he'd just be enjoying himself so much. I don't know if I can even enjoy the agony of the Showboats anymore, because this has gotten so out of control for them that I've left behind. When old Brandon was saying everything was going to be easy. Old Brandon over on the Captain's Log, he's still very entertaining. You guys should still check out that podcast. And by the way, our guys on the PAWD old tugboat for the Panthers, he'll be celebrating this win big time. Amazing game. I'm sure that'll be a fun podcast this week. But back to Tay's man, Adrian Martinez, a magic. 400 yards of total offense, very nearly. 4 touchdowns, almost a 5th touchdown. Hitting people deep. They had an 80-yard touchdown pass during this game. Kelvin Austin. Just wow. Get your discount now, because it's early. Just get the championship trophy and the MVP trophy. Get them etched out already, because this is completely out of control. Also get the participation award not ready for these Birmingham Stallions fans, because you got this team with this quarterback, MVP. They're crushing everybody. You guys can't show up to the games. That is tough. Still waiting to see if It Matters More country, Birmingham, Alabama, is going to be able to beat out the crowds from Hamburg, Germany this weekend. Hey, it's, I know you're disappointed that that Jeff is on vacation this week. He's out of the country, because you would have a lot to tell him about your guy Adrian Martinez right now. I'm sorry, Matt Corral. I know you were a high draft pick, and I know it was uplifting to this league for you to come down and participate, but it's probably over for you, bro. I don't see how it couldn't be.
Yeah. What a time to be a Stallions fan. They have the best quarterback in the league on their team. Adrian Martinez, without a doubt, should win the MVP. I mean, like I think this is the most 368 yards. I don't remember any 4 touchdown games this year. This has to be 4 passing touchdown. Has to be the most. Then you got Kevin Austin Jr. He had that 80-yard catch deep left. That was crazy. I did enjoy that. And I know, like, for those that didn't watch the game, you see the score 39-21. Oh yeah, the Showboats. Okay, well, they kind of kept up with them. No, they didn't. The Showboats scored most of their points in the fourth quarter. When the game was already over, it didn't matter. These teams are just on two completely different levels. I mean, Showboats could not get anything going whatsoever. Like I said, they got most of their points in the fourth. I think they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't get anything going. The Stallions did whatever they wanted throughout the game, every quarter, especially the second quarter. That's where they scored all their points. The second quarter alone, they scored 22. That's more than the Showboats put up the whole game. Like, this team is really scary, and I'm waiting for Stallions Battlehawks. I feel like that's gonna be the game of the year. But yeah, this Stallions team is on a completely different level than the Showboats.
Are they on a completely different level than the league? Do you think the Battlehawks have a chance against them?
I do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, same.
I think those are the two like S tier teams, and then there's a gap, and then yeah, those are the two great teams for sure.
39-21. You could hear more about this game individually. Stallions run, Buck and Scout tearing it up down there. I hope they're rallying up some fellow fans to come out to these dang games. And then, of course, the captain's log, our guy for the Showboats, Brandon. Check him out for more in-depth individual breakdowns of these teams in this game. Speaking of the S tier, Battlehawks with a very workman-like, I would say, performance on Saturday. Hey, our double parlay that we talked about on this show last week, the parlay both the Battlehawks and the Stallions at 14.5, minus 14.5, it would have cashed as the Battlehawks roll 22-8. Defense does a great job, kind of picks up the offense that was a little stop and start. AJ McCarron, another very efficient, looked good, 65% completion, 3 touchdowns, 255 yards. The running game slowed down a little bit. Jacob Sailors had been tearing everybody up for weeks. Didn't do much on the ground. Hakeem Butler, it is officially the season has come for Hakeem Butler. We talked about it a few weeks in advance of it actually happening. It's fully here now. He is dominating. Very scary play during the game where he landed on his neck. There was no reason to jump on that play. Relax, bro. You're already dominating. We don't need you to get hurt. You're well on your way back to somewhere in July. I'm pretty darn sure. He had 6 receptions, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, high point in the ball, looking like a man among boys, doing a great job. Battlehawks roll on the Roughnecks. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So speaking of Hakeem Butler, for the season, I said this would be the best receiving core. He would be the best receiver. He is the best receiver. Just pull up the stats. He even started off slow. Like first 2 weeks, he didn't really do anything. He wasn't the team's leading receiver, but now he's getting multiple 100-yard games and letting them heat up right before the playoffs start. It's not looking good for these other defenses. And I got that YouTube comment. Someone said Kelvin Harmon better than Hakeem Butler. Hey, I'm gonna need him to take that back because Hakeem Butler is the best receiver in this league. I mean, this game alone should just have proven that, and it's been a week to week basis. So it's been consistent. And I don't know, man. These Roughnecks again. It's kind of like the game we just talked about. They had no business being in this game. Like they scored all their points in the fourth quarter. It was over. It was already over, and then the Battlehawks scored 8 points with the Roughnecks in the fourth quarter. Anyways, like the game was already over. The Roughnecks, they got a lot of figuring out to do. I don't know about Reese and that. I don't.
4
Yeah,
yards a pass. 4 yards a pass, man.
yeah,
4 yards average.
Yeah, they got a late rushing touchdown from Mark Thompson. Boosted his stats and whatnot.
Kind of seen who was tweeting cryptically. Maybe he had retired after this game.
Right. Yeah. So just again, the Roughnecks had no business being on the field with the Battlehawks. The Battlehawks clearly just were a better team. AJ McCarron, one of the best quarterbacks. I'd say second best quarterback in the league. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like that's the Battlehawks and the Stallions are the team to beat.
I think that because I think we got Jarrett Garantano. He came back in at the end of the game. If he's healthy, just go with him.
Yeah, might as well. I
Because at
mean,
this point, and that's kind of the bright side, or hopefully should be in essence, in theory, of this league, is even when teams are mathematically limited from the playoffs, you should still see the level of effort, because ultimately we're trying to get tape, we're trying to get reps, we're trying to show the eye in the sky that we are worthy of being in camps, and the record don't got nothing to do with that.
right.
Even if your team is a losing record, you can still go out there and be showing effort and be making plays and earn yourself a roster spot in the camp coming up this summer. So hopefully that is the case for these Roughnecks. And I would like to see Jarrett Garantano get back in the game if he's healthy at this point. I like the way the offense looked with Sinet for a couple of weeks, but it's just not working. And you might as well let this young kid get some reps and get some tape, as he was getting to do at the beginning of the year. It's a shame, because I think most people would rank the Roughnecks at the bottom of the league. Probably the best podcast on the network, and football media, is Roughnecks Rundown, is run on the worst team in the league. So I don't know. Feel bad for my guy Ace over there. Check him out if you get the chance, though. Still a real good pod. So please check it out here on the United Football Media feed. Battlehawks Battle Talk, hosted by our man Noah. He will be up right after us, probably here on Monday, covering this great Battlehawks team. Last game of the weekend, and it was a heart stopper. The DC Defenders survived to keep their season alive. I think a lot of people felt like this was a kind of a, not mathematically maybe, but pretty darn close to a win or go home at home against the San Antonio Brahmas, who I'm excited. I'm real excited to see Brahma bullpen this week, because to me, there are some concerns going on over there in San Antonio land, because this has not looked good the last couple of weeks with Quentin Darmody in the game. 3 interceptions last week. He did decent the first week, still had a turnover. 3 interceptions last week. They were able to overcome it. More turnovers this week, and they were not able to overcome it, even with an awesome performance by John Lovett once again. It's funny, speaking of Brahma bullpen, they were very offended at the beginning of the year that we said, oh, this looks like it's going to be a physical smash mouth team. They were all fired up about that. Well, guess what they are now? They're a physical smash mouth team, because this guy, John Lovett, oh my God, is going for 150 a week. Speaking of people who are going to be in a camp this summer, John Lovett is a beast, man. Matt Ellison, too, was getting it done. It just was not enough this week. Our guy, John Trey Kirkland, finally ended his streak of domination. Only 3 catches for 19 yards. This Brahmas offense looked horrendous the entire game. I can't say too much better for the defenders. Defenders offense also did not look great, but they did enough to get the dub, to keep their season alive. And they did look a little better than they have in the previous week. Of course, one of our most popular and best shows, Brahma Bullpen. Check them out for Brahma's coverage on this game. DC Defenders show with Alex and Webb. Check them out. I'll be interested to see how they feel this week, because Coach Alex, he was all fired up last week. I really enjoyed that podcast last week. So check it out. I'm excited to see how he feels this week with a little bit of improvement. Defenders keep their season alive at home with the last second win over the Brahmas. Tell me about it, Tay.
So last week, or I'll say a few weeks ago, Quentin Dormany, his first week playing, had a great game. And I predicted kind of like a coming back down to earth. So last week, he came back down to earth. He turned the ball over a lot. They still won, so keep him in. No need to change. We still won a game. This week, though, I think they have some questions now. 79 passing yards will not win you any games. And the crazy thing about it is they could have won this game, but just 79, it's unacceptable. Like, I don't think there's on any level, 79 passing yards will not win you a football game. And I mean, the run game was there, so there's no excuse on that. Like, The run game was there, and I'm sure at some point the defenders know it's coming. I mean, he got the ball 23 times. Like, defenders knew it was coming. Defenders knew, oh, it's a run. They just couldn't stop it. Like, a lot of teams can't really stop it, but defenders, I would say, yeah, like, again, this is one of those games you kind of need to win, and they got it done. They took advantage of a poor offensive game from Quentin Dormany, and yeah, but let me not skip over Calvin Harmon's great game. He did
He
have
did. He stepped
8
up. Clutch
receptions.
touchdown. Yes.
He's great. He is great. I don't think he is the best receiver though. He's up there. He's great. But I don't think he's better than Hakeem Butler. But yeah, like the defenders, they took care of business. They took advantage of poor QB play and they moved the ball, held on to the lead at home. They got the win. This is the win they needed to stay up in the standings. And after a bad loss last week, I believe. So yeah, shout out to the defenders for getting their record back to 500.
All it takes is one, all it could take is one win, keep them mathematically with it. Who knows? Maybe this turns the season around. A lot of important games coming down the pike as we get into week 7. So here we are, lucky number 7, week 7, and we are lucky because the true God has showed up. Get us with these game previews coming up. We're starting things off Saturday at 1 o'clock. This doesn't even qualify as a cheek bowl. This isn't even left cheek, right cheek. This is like will an asteroid hit the earth during this game type of situation. Showboats and Renegades, the two, both, how can both teams? One team has to be Lucy, one team has to be Charlie Brown, and they're both Charlie Browns. They both find ways to lose every week in new and innovative ways. Somebody has to win. I gotta believe. This is the week. The Renegades find a way to get it done so we can all comfortably put them at number 6, like we're already doing in our power rankings, and not feel bad. But at least we'll have finally a win to show for it. Because that's what really matters, right? I'm going Renegades. What do you think there, Tay?
I'm going Renegades too. Yeah, I don't know. Renegades just look a lot, even though the record doesn't show it. Renegades just look way better than the Showboat. So yeah, got the Renegades getting their first win.
Well, I mean, the Renegades have been statistically on top of every single winning team in this league. I mean, good for scouting the box versus scouting the tape. The Renegades have looked good. It's just been the most insane snake bitten season I've ever seen in my entire life. True. He just looks off in the distance. So that's what I said. I said the dude Gabriel on Hellraisers, he's going to be just sitting there with the Crossroads by Bone Thugs playing, just staring off into space regarding this team. It has to happen this week, man. It has to.
There's going to come a time where eventually my Showboats disdain goes away and I pick them. Luckily, that's not this week because I'm obviously going with the Renegades. So, look, the Renegades, is there any season that's gone this bad? Like, in terms of like being this close and have everything go wrong? I don't think there's ever been a season quite like this. So, you get knocked down 10 times, get up 11, and can only hope before we get to the number 10, they can put a 1 in that win column. I think the Showboats suck enough to where I think the Renegades will be able to hold on. But man, they have this is the worst luck in the entire UFL. The worst luck. And I think they're a lot better, not a lot better, a little bit better than what their record says. So this is the week. No one is down forever. No one loses forever. Most of the time. And I think this is their chance. Go Renegades.
They're like 8 plays away, from 5-1. It's I've never seen anything like it. Just incredible. Speaking of just incredible, call it Star Wars, call it Godzilla, call it whatever you want. It's Box Office next Saturday at 4:00 on Fox. This one is going to be something, man. Stallions, Battlehawks. I think what many expect to be a championship preview. I swear to God, Birmingham, if you do not show up for this game, you're never going to hear the end of it off of this show. We're going all the way in on this show for good. There will be no stopping. There will be no mercy. You had better show up for this. You had better beat out Hamburg, Germany in attendance for this. 5-1 versus 6-0. Battlehawks Stallions. Here we go. I'm going Battlehawks. That's it. That's right. Let's go. We've ranked them as the number 1 team in the power rankings for several weeks. The Stallions are undefeated, but like we've said, the Battlehawks are 164-yard field goal away from being undefeated as well. I'm going Battlehawks. Tay?
I'm also going with the Battlehawks. I got another big game from Akeem Butler, Ja'Cory Pearson. This will be the game. You know, you need everyone, all hands on deck for this game. So yeah, I got the Battlehawks to win it on the road.
True.
Hey Tay, who playing quarterback for the Stallions this coming week?
The best quarterback in the league, Adrian Martinez.
It's got to be, because it has to be over for Corral. It has to be.
And in that case,
had almost 400 total yards, 368 passing.
In that case, I'll be honest.
Hey,
my head is saying the Battlehawks, but Adrian Martinez is he's too good. You know, Tay. I try not to give too much credit, but you saw the vision. You were correct. You were right. And I'm going to go with the Stallions, but this is a flip. Like if Birmingham shows up and plays their best ball, I mean, I want a classic. This is what I want. I want a classic game that comes down to the wire, comes down to the end, comes down to a field goal or one score, and I want to be back and forth. Just that's what I want. I hope I get that. I don't see the Stallions blowing out the Battlehawks. I don't even see the Battlehawks blowing out the Stallions. I see it being a really extremely competitive game, and I hope we're not let down by this game. But I'm gonna go Stallions by 1 score. But if the Battlehawks won, also not surprised if that happens. But this is the game of the year. We finally get a game of this year. We can really be like, yes, this is it. This is the one. And we can circle it on the calendar now. It's almost here.
Yeah,
Adrian Martinez. Yeah, go ahead.
The Stallions, they even clinched a playoff berth.
Yeah.
They're already locked in. You know, so
you know what?
That could flipping because they're already in. That's how I see
it. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. You can take your foot off the gas once you clinched. Like I said, this game can go either way. If I'm the Stallions, I want to make a statement, right? This is the team that's on your heels right there. You got to make a statement. If you go out there and you lackadaisical and you don't play the right way, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not who we think you are.
If it was me on one of the teams that I was on, I would feel disrespected if there was people out there. We're undefeated, and there's people putting this other team ahead of us in the power rankings. I would feel disrespected. Absolutely. If I was that home crowd, I would feel disrespected hearing people talk about my team like that and hear people talk about the attendance like the way that they do. They have a lot. I mean, it's true.
You're not wrong.
They have a lot to feel disrespected about. So and you brought it up. Adrian Martinez has officially ascended to the level of a player that you would be sitting there. I don't know about Tay because I don't know if Tay has the humility for this, but I might be sitting on my couch next Saturday feeling like an idiot forever picking against a team with Adrian Martinez running it. Could happen. He is that type of player where he will not only will beat you. But have you feeling stupid for ever thinking of picking against him? So, yeah, we talked
Adrian
about
Martinez. If they win, what is Adrian Martinez for MVP? Like, what is
he's
what's
already number one right now.
We talked about it on the opening in the first segment. We said you might as well get the discount on the trophy now and get that thing, the MVP trophy now, because
if he shows up and he beats the Battlehawks, you can clear everything out. That's it.
Yeah, boogies on him like he did. Yeah, absolutely. Next Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Panthers Defenders. This is an interesting game. Both teams physical type and both teams battling for that second spot, trying to keep things. Panthers trying to keep the space, trying to keep the distance between them and the rest of the USFL. Defenders, again, trying to stay alive. If they win this thing 4-3 and the Brahmas stumble against the Roughnecks 4-3, then it's a tiebreaker for head-to-head, which I believe the Brahmas would win because their margin of victory, just off the top of my head. But still, it puts them one game closer. Still plenty of football to play. Interesting game. It's in DC. Going to be rocking. I think Rowdy Audie's going to be back. This is an interesting game. I still am not impressed enough because Darmody looks so bad today. I'm still not fully sure the defenders are fully back. So I'm going to go Panthers. Tay, what do you think?
I'm going Defenders. No EJ Perry, no win.
Oh my gosh. Still not over it. Danny Etling didn't do anything to you, bro. It's not his fault.
He didn't do anything, but I mean, EJ Perry's just better. No EJ Perry, no win. I got Defenders winning 2 in a row. Starting a little, win streak.
True. Is DC back?
I don't know about back, but I think because they're home and feels like people are starting to rally around them a little bit, trying to get them get them back where they are. I think they'll win this game, but it'll be by the skin of their teeth. Like, it's not going to be an easy game. I think this is going to be a close game. When once again, like this is what I do like about this coming week, is that last few weeks, being honest, it weren't games that jumped off the page to you when you saw them. And these Stallions, Battlehawks, Panthers and Defenders, these are games you can really be like, okay, yes, this is it.
Showboats Renegades is interesting just because of how
interesting for much different reason than the other two, but still interesting. And I think I'll go with the Defenders, but it's just not going to be easy. They have to show something. They got to show something. It's just like they need an impressive win. I don't know if they get it here, but I do think they win, and it might just escape, but they'll win. I think they'll win this one. But if the Panthers, Panthers can pull it off, also wouldn't be surprised. But I'm gonna go with the Defenders.
So in the first segment, we got questions. These Brahmas, we got questions. But fortunately for them, I don't know how much they're really going to need out of Quentin Darmody against this Roughnecks team that is having a real tough go of it. I think if they keep the ball on the ground with Ellison and John Lovett, they're going to be just fine in this one, because the Roughnecks ain't going to do nothing against this defense. Mark it down. Mark this down. Mark down our Stallions Battlehawks comments. Believe us here at United Football Media, here on Tell Me About It. We, the DAR sports team, we want all the smoke. Please bring it if we end up being wrong. Happy to take it. So my commentary just now about the Roughnecks, happy to hear all about it if they decide to stand up and do something for themselves in this game. I don't think they're going to. I'm going Brahmas. It's lucky for them, as they are having some questions arise about their quarterback situation, that they getting the Roughnecks at this time. Tay, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the Brahmas too. All they got to do is come in, run the ball. All they got to do is score about 10 points. I think that's the number for them. Yeah, Roughnecks aren't scoring more. They're going to score 9 points, 8 points. Yeah, Brahmas don't really need much. Don't really need much going. So yeah, I'm going Brahmas.
Better hope our friend Kennedy Smith doesn't hear you. My gosh. How dare you?
Yeah, so sorry, Kennedy. Sorry, Kennedy. I wish your team was winning a lot more. I mean, because Kennedy is amazing. She's great. And the
I
Roughnecks,
know
not so
she's
much.
she's having to work hard out there right now.
Yeah, get people hyped up, get people excited. It's just not, it's just not a lot to be excited about down there. And yeah, man, the Brahmas, there's some questions there, like you said, but they'll take care of business. The Roughnecks have nothing going for them right now. There's nothing. I can't pinpoint something about the Roughnecks where I'm like, well, on the bright side, it's nothing. So I think this is kind of open and shut. Brahmas. It could be like a thrashing type of game. I could see that being the case too. I could see the
Yeah,
Brahmas
maybe
kind
this
of
is where Quentin Dermody gets right. This is the get
yeah.
right
I
game
mean,
where he finally gets in the groove. Yeah, could be.
if you need a game to get right, the Roughnecks is probably the best team that you could get right against. Because even if you were going against like the Renegades, I mean the Renegades will beat you 95% of the game and then give you 5%, whereas Roughnecks you can just whoop on them all you want. And I feel like the Brahmas absolutely have the firepower to do that. We will see which Brahmas team shows up. But I got them winning.
Well, we have you, the viewer, winning. And, we said that the Roughnecks don't got much going for them. Well, that's not the case for United Football Media because they got all sorts of things going for them. Just like I covered throughout the first segment, we got podcasts for each individual team. Amazing stuff. We got the Brandon's best bets, the captain's best bets, Friday, Saturday, finishing out your week. We got Webb and Ace, the two leaders, the two captains of the ship here, United Football Media. They're going head to head, going at it on polar opposites every week. I wonder if at some point people on that show, on that debate show, will feel comfortable enough to challenge, to open the door for somebody from Tell Me About It to jump on there. We haven't really been invited yet. I wonder if there's a reason. Maybe nobody over there wants to see us like that. I don't know. Just putting it out there. We'll see. I love you guys. It's an awesome show. Check it out. No one is doing it like United Football Media. As you can see, all you got to do is look around the page and see it. No one out there is doing it like United Football Media. We will be back next Monday, back and better than ever. This is United Football Media. Tell me about it.